Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Bourne Ultimatum. This came out in 2007, and it's the third installment of the Bourne Identity series. This, in my opinion, should have been the last one, and it probably was intended, but it made so much money and everything that they came out with two more installments. After this movie, Matt Damon decided he didn't want to come back if the same director and stuff didn't come back. So they got Jeremy Renner in 2012 for the Bourne Legacy, and that didn't do well. So about 12 years later, they came out with, no, not 12 years later, 10 years later, after Matt Damon did this movie, they came out with the Jason Bourne movie, and that didn't do so well. So the Bourne franchise has pretty much just like gone. I assume one day in the future they might like resurrect it on TV. Probably Amazon Prime mostly because they do a lot of spy drama type stuff. But who knows? That's just speculation. That's just what I'm assuming. But anyway, this is a very good movie. It doesn't have too strong of a story like the heart and feel of the first one. It's mostly just your blockbuster popcorn flick of a movie. It's a thriller, it's suspenseful, there's some really good action, but the story is pretty basic. Jason Bourne is looking to find out who he is. And he's going to go about it any way possible. So he's going to take down the people who did this to him and find out why. And so one of the problems I have with this movie that like other people have with this movie is the shaky cam. It gets on my nerves to the point where I feel like I'm getting dizzy and stuff. There's one really good action scene between him and Paz, I think that's his name, the assassin dude. But it's so much shaky cam, I don't know what the world is going on. There's also a very good car chase. I love the way they do the close-up features and the wide screens and this and that, but that shaky cam stuff really comes effective when it's the car chase. Oddly though, even though this is an action thriller, it's mostly more of a suspense thriller because there's very little action in this movie and stuff. There aren't that many fight scenes, there aren't that many shootouts, and there aren't that many car chases. But the ones that they do give you do satisfy your, like, action needs and everything. And this is probably Matt Damon's best performance as Jason Bourne. The first time he was in the movie, like in the first one, I was just kind of iffy about his performance and stuff. But despite me losing respect for this dude because of some comments he made about race and everything, he did do a phenomenal job in this movie and stuff. And he should have never walked away. This was his James Bond franchise, and he just walked away from it because he didn't like the director. Like if his director didn't come back and stuff, and didn't want nobody else. I can kind of understand that because sometimes new directors don't know what the world they're doing, but sometimes you just gotta take that chance and just take a paycheck and everything. Because coming back 10 years later was a big mistake and everything because things just don't work out when a decade has passed. But like I said before, there's not much plot to this like movie whatsoever. It's just really good when it gets to the thrills and suspense and everything in the action. Because all it really is him still trying to figure out who he is and trying to stop these people. See, there is a journalist dude who has started reporting about Jason Bourne and what is it, Black Bar or Treadstone, that organization and stuff. And so they put a hit out on him. And Jason is trying to stop this and everything. But the man is so paranoid. All he had to do was listen to Jason. And instead, he got sniped and everything. So Jason now realizes that his former contact in Paris, Nikki, she has let's just say she knows some stuff that she shouldn't know, so they send an assassin after her, and he recognizes her. Now that's played by Julia Stiles, and I was so happy to see her in this movie. Cause I remember she did, Save the Last Dance, and you always want people's career to go forward and stuff. So after saving her life and everything, like she's done with like this organization because like she's not an agent or this and that. And so like we don't know nothing about the dude who's supposed to assassinate all of them main paths and stuff. He's just, he gets his orders and he goes. Pretty much his only ally in this is that of Landry. I think that's her name. And so like Pamela Landry. And so I love the interaction between those two. How he always calls her on the phone, and because he's just literally spying on her from like many miles away, or several buildings away, I should say. And he always ends it with the whole like, like he'll point something out that she's all like, "Crap, he's looking at me right now." Like he tells her to get some sleep because she looks tired. I love that so much. And so it freaks out his people because like they know that he's very close and he's watching and stuff. The people the CIA people who work for Black Bar and Treadstone, those people, they're so paranoid in this movie. They assume that Jason is coming after all of them one by one because a couple of their people ended up dead. Before I go any further, he does pay a visit to Martin, the brother of Mari from the first movie, and tells him, your sister is no longer here. At least he did that because, he didn't do that in the second movie because of obvious reasons. But anyway, the people at the CIA and Black Bar and Trust on all them people, they are beyond paranoid. And so, like, he calls up the new director dude for the CIA who's like oversees all this. This Vossen, I believe his name is, how you say it. And I love the interaction between him when they talk. He's all like, where are you right now? He's all like, oh, I'm in my office. Like, no, because we'll be having this conversation face to face. I love how he sneaks in and out because the thing is, he is a super weapon and he's like the ultimate super weapon. He's really good at espionage and spy stuff, action, hand-to-hand combat, weaponry, all that type of stuff, And so like he's sending papers to that of Landry because she gave him a coded message telling him who he really is, Mark Webb. And she gives him the numbers 4/15/71, talking about that's when you're born. But then the people realize that's not his birth date. They're coordinates to a hospital where he meets Dr. Hirsch. And, he finally finds out how all this came to be. He signed up for all of this. It's not the other way around. Because he always assumed that, like, they kidnapped him Wolverine style and, like, brainwashed him. But just like in the second X-Men movie, he signed up for all this crap. And, that's, like, devastating to him. Anyways, he tries to make his escape and he gets shot in the back by Voschen. Oh, how do you say his name? But it revealed at the end of the movie, he is alive and he just swims away. Now, all the CIA people and all the people working for them, they are found out and they are arrested. And what's ironic about this is that he doesn't even go by the name Mark Webb. He still goes by Jason Bourne for some bizarre reason. Like I said, this should have ended the entire movie and stuff, the franchise, because he swims away and we don't know what happens to him. We know he's going to live a normal life. At least that's what we assume. They should have never made 2 more installments. Now, this is based on the novel, The Bourne Ultimatum, but it's completely different. The plot of the novel is 100% different from the plot of this movie. And so, like, what's interesting is that there was a movie called Hannah that I believe came out in 2011. And Hannah is basically the female version of the Bourne movies and stuff. That movie didn't do well, but then they brought it out on Amazon Prime as a TV series for 3 seasons. I've covered all 3 seasons. It's a phenomenal show. It's very similar to the Bourne franchise, which I hate when people copy. You know what I'm saying? Now, before I go, there is one part of this movie that really pisses me off. It's towards the end when Paz is about to shoot Bourne, and Bourne tells him, "Do you even know why you're doing this?" And he looks perplexed and says, "No," and he lowers his gun. Then, of course, Vossen shoots Bourne. Now, this could have added an element of humanity or empathy to the movie because, like I said before, there is no real true plot. This is something that's been bugging me for years because it's kind of like, why add this scene if you're not gonna explore it a little bit more and everything? This should have been something happened towards the middle of the movie where what's his name contemplates it and ponders whether he should continue to be an assassin or not. And it's just one of those things that is like left empty-handed and stuff. And it's one of those scenes that really needed more development, that could have added a layer to this movie that the movie is lacking. Because this movie is lacking a humanistic empathy type feel. Like, yeah, you feel bad for Bourne, but when you see him kicking butt, you're just like cool and everything, and you don't feel bad for really nobody else in this movie. Maybe the journalist, but he was an idiot who should have listened and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.